This is Anne Butler, the Book Griffin. Welcome to the podcast. I want to talk to you today about KAFs, kick-ass females. Kick-ass female leads in romantic novels, or in novels in general. There was a time when the female lead in novels were delicate little flowers, virginal, or had only slept with their ex or late husband, emphasis on husband. If they were faced with any kind of day-to-day trials, they cried, and there would follow pages of inner dialogue about just how sad they were. They would soldier on until a hero came along, handsome, with lots of money, and a there, little one attitude. He would fix everything and love her into the bargain, although 99% of the time he'd be over the top mean to her until the last few pages. Even when an author wrote a stronger female character, her strength usually only went so far before she was fired from her job or kidnapped, requiring a hero to come and help her out or rescue her. He'd be handsome and have lots of money, etc., etc. This trend started to change in the early 2000s, or maybe it just feels like that's when it changed, because it was around that time when I picked up a romantic novel for the first time, many years after I'd practically given up on the genre. I talked about this in one of my earlier episodes. I've included a link to that episode in the description. One of the novels I've read in the last couple of years with a serious kick-ass female was written by Linda Howard. The novel is called Prey, and the KAF is Angie Powell. Just so you're aware, Linda Howard writes a lot of strong female characters. Reference the character of Mila in one of my earlier podcasts. I can't help but like James Diaz. Another link in the description to that episode. But this story, Prey, is set in a rural part of Montana. Angie runs her own camping, wilderness walks, hunting company. She's just keeping her head above water. There's a rival company in town which has more cash in hand and gets a better quality of clients, is able to charge more, and his business is leaving hers in its wake. It grates on her, and although she liked the owner, Dare, in the beginning, she can't get past her resentment that her business struggles while his doesn't. So that's Angie's backstory. Here's how we get to witness her kick-ass ways. She takes a couple of clients out for a hunting trip. The trip will last several days. She thinks the men are friends. It turns out that one of the men plans to murder the other and Angie, as she's likely to witness the whole thing. While all this is going on, roaming around in the wilderness she's about to walk her clients into, there's a big man-eating bear straight out of the film The Edge. Oh yes, and a storm warning is given shortly after her and her clients leave town. Linda Howard threw everything at this story, and it should have been a mess, but to me it wasn't, chiefly because of Angie's pragmatic, no-fuss character. The murderer makes his play on their first night, just as the bear comes into their camp. Angie manages to grab her rifle but can't get a shot at the bear because her vision is limited by the dark, the torrential rain, and the chaos of the bear attack. Her only option is to get the hell away. Her fear doesn't shut her down. She doesn't wait for help. She doesn't go into hysterics because she's a kick-ass wilderness guide. Angie has to fight her way through the storm, which is worsening. She knows that the bear is still out there, so she needs to find shelter until the storm passes. Unfortunately, and one of the usual tropes does pop up at this stage, Angie hurts her ankle and she's stuck in a ditch. And then trope number 2 came along. Dare, her nemesis, the one who owns the other business, is out in the wilderness too, and he's been following Angie's tracks. You'll need to read the story to find out what that's all about. He finds her and drags her out of the ditch and takes her to his cabin so that they can wait for the storm to pass. To be honest, I didn't mind too much that Dare popped up to help Angie, especially when we know what transpired in her camp, and not when we get to see what comes afterwards. So, afterwards, they make their way down the mountain when the storm has become less severe, but that bear is still about. Right, so there's a spoiler coming. Look away for about 45 seconds if you don't want to know. The bear comes after them. Something happens which renders Dare powerless just at the moment when they need 2 guns to stop that straight out of the edge bear. Angie stands her ground. She fires again and again as the bear keeps coming. I've reread that scene so many times, at the edge of my seat each time. I just love it. Angie Powell, kick-ass female. Prey had some low ratings on Goodreads. From what I can tell, the lowest scores seem to be from readers who didn't like the description of the bear kills or that the romance seemed to be secondary. The romance taking second place didn't really bother me because I saw this as a thriller that had a romantic angle. If you like the thriller romance genre, then do check out Prey by Linda Howard, which was published in 2011. This has been Anne Butler, the Book Griffin. If you like this episode, please subscribe to receive notification of new episodes. You can also follow me on Instagram by going to Instagram, search for The Book Griffin and hit follow.